I noticed it. It looks very nice. I do like all the albums around it.
Is that just your...
Yeah, it's just albums.
Yes, it's just albums, and we're here to talk albums and music and some horror right here on Thrashers Paradise, as we are joined with Niagara Falls death metal. I'm gonna say gods because you guys keep winning awards. We're joined with Duskwalker. How are you two doing today? We're joined with Kale and John.
We're good, actually. Good. We're
recording right now.
We're taking the weekend to record some drums for our next release. So I don't know if you can see behind us now. We don't have a weird background going on, but we actually have
not anymore.
These walls that John built. So he all set up around the drums right now, and we're taking the weekend to record.
Stop biting my computer, cat. I mean, that is awesome. I apologize. I have a cat in my room, and she likes to bite my computer.
No, that's fine. I'm sure my dog will annoy me at some point.
We're here to talk about, of course, the last year's amazing death metal album, All They Know Is Fear, which actually ranked number 2 on our list last year. Did you guys know that?
No, I actually didn't know that. I was looking at your list this year and see a lot of friends on there and stuff, but I was like, no, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, you were before this year, you were the highest ranked death metal album to be listed for Thrashers Paradise.
Nice. Thank you. We really
You're welcome. It was such a... Oh. You go.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, no, you guys were... I thought All They Know Was Fear. Though it came out late, it was just like, holy shit. It was a great album. I thought it was stellar from the beginning to the end. Really such a great death metal album.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Now, with all that out of the way, a year has passed since it's been released into the world. Your child is now a 1-year-old. What has the overall reception been about All They Know Is Fear throughout the entire year?
It started out so good. And then right when we were gearing up to go out and actually promote the album, that's kind of everything went downhill after that because everything got canceled.
Yeah,
of course.
So
yeah, at first, like our hometown release show was sold out, and that was a great night, right? And then pretty much right after COVID was hitting, and then shows were getting canceled. We had a whole bunch lined up for the new year, and then pretty much canceled everything. It slowed. We were wanting to make videos for the album, but it even slowed that process down. So yeah, kind of we were ready to kick, and we were going to play Full Terror Assault, and that got canceled. So it just it took the fucking breath out of everything.
Yeah. So yes. But now we get to talk about and kind of reflect on everything that has happened because, conveniently enough, I was at the album release show, and it was a very magical night just to see everyone perform very well together, and just to see you be able to finally perform, as I said earlier, your child live in front of people. It must have been truly stellar. Like, the lineup was stacked from The Further to another metalcore band that I forget right now at the moment, Laid to Rest, Lucero, and then you.
And then us, yeah.
It was such a stellar night. For you both, what truly made that night magical for you both individually?
I think for me, it always sounds good at the warehouse there. We like playing there times. And it was, I think before we went on, I talked to Chris Chaperono, helped set it up. And he told us that, they hit the numbers that they sold the show out. So I knew that before we were going on. So I thought, oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I thought, this was a good night. And all the bands were different too. So it was just nice to see a bit of a variety too.
For me, it was really like the day before and the day of. There was everybody I talked to. It was just like a lot of positive comments about the new album and everything. and like that really kind of came into the building that night. Just, everybody just seemed super pumped. Us, the other bands, everybody that was there just seemed really, really pumped, and that it was sold out. There were so many people there. It was just like, it's felt great.
Yeah, it just feels good, even in your own local scene, to be able to sell out a good venue and just have all your buds there, support. So it was a magical night. I agree. We were so stoked, right? It was like such a good way to the new album, the new album. But then, what happened then?
Yeah. Well, before that, you did have a couple of great. One of the shows I did know about, and that we were going to, were you were actually going to come to open up for Luthero at their album release party here in Hamilton at Absinthe, and sadly that got canceled because of our favorite subject, 2020. But I think what's really heartbreaking is that festival got canceled, where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were going to be able to perform with Guar.
Yeah.
Like, that was brutal. But for you both individually, out of all the shows that you did have planned to cancel this year, which one really was just the punch to the gut, where it was like, oh, damn it, we can't do this?
I think it would have been the Full Terror Assault.
Yeah, for sure. Playing with Guar and Exodus, like, come on.
Yeah, like Exodus rebooked for 2021. As long as the fest goes on, we're rescheduled to play that again.
Yeah.
I've been down to Full Terror Assault since the first year and played a couple of them with some other bands. And it's just a wild time. Just, camping and BYOB. And you're there for 4 nights of metal. And we've made friends down there. And, we look forward to seeing them every year, right? So that show sucked because it's like a boys' weekend, right? It's like a boys' camping weekend, and you just see all these great bands, and you can pretty much do whatever you want down there. It's pretty awesome, within reason, right? So that sucked. We were looking forward to that, and playing with Guar. Like I love Guar. Pretty much. Our bass player Matt, we grew up on Guar. John likes to go to Guar.
Yeah. What about Joey? Is Joey too young for Guar, or does he like Guar?
He's never seen them, I don't think. He kind of likes them. You know what I mean? He likes them. But he never got to see them, at least with Dave Brocky. And, but, hang out with us. We're trying to get him into a little more Guar.
Now, I do have to ask this. I hope I'm not throwing Joey a bit under the bus with this, but as we all know, Joey Bricks is his radio name. I just forget how to pronounce his actual last name.
Scringy.
Joey Scringy, lead vocalist of Duskwalker, happens to be working for Hits FM and have a metal radio show on midnights from 12 to 2 on Hits FM called Metal After Midnight. But yet, I don't think I've heard Duskwalker yet. What's going on with that?
Okay, well, you're right. And Joey's a modest guy, and he didn't want to throw Duskwalker on right away. You know what I mean? He didn't want to be like, hey, I've got some influence. I'm going to throw my band in right away. He waited like a few months. He had the radio show we're on now, actually. We're in rotation now.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we have been for maybe a month or so, maybe a little longer. But he held off for a good 3 months, I think. And he was trying to put, Lotharo and Raider and some other good local stuff on there before us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's a bit to, kind of keep people from being like, oh, well, of course they're doing well. They're singers on the radio. So
yeah, like we want, him working at 97.7 is a great, thing to be affiliated with, but we don't want, we don't want to take advantage of it either.
Of course, yeah. Of course, no. I just wanted to just kind of throw that in there and just ask, just here, jokingly.
People would wonder, oh, he's a radio DJ. Why wouldn't he throw his own band on a metal show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, he's he was good about it. He waited quite a while, and we were like, "Hey, do you want to throw us on now? Has it been long enough?" So
Yeah.
But we're in rotation now, which is cool.
That is awesome. What's it like knowing that you do have your own material, not only with Joey's show, but with us on our radio show and probably other radio shows across the nation and maybe even the world? What's that like knowing that Duskwalker is being performed on metal shows and stations?
I think it's amazing. Like, we're happy to do these interviews with anyone who's supporting us. Like,
yeah, it's like it's cool knowing our stuff is like on your show or like Reverend Radio and stuff like that. Like that's always awesome on any radio. But when you get contacted from like Germany or like Seattle or something, and they're like, "Oh, we want to play you on our show," like that's like awesome. It's very cool.
Now, I do have a bone to pick with you all. How come you don't have a merch store yet online?
Working on that. John's working on it.
So yeah, that's mostly in my hands, and part of it is I'm very busy, a lot with making stuff in real life, and also I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I'm working on it. It's just I run into some stuff and get frustrated. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. So
totally understandable. I get that. I get that completely.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Colin, we'll message you and we'll give you some options on some shirts and some stuff. We'll mail you something.
Okay, cool. I'd love that, especially because I have a whole thing. I think you might find this cool. I have a 9-year-old brother that, I kid you not, majority of the nights will go to sleep to All They Know Is Fear.
Oh, that's awesome.
Playing on CD player. Now, what I did like, going back to the album release show, it was an all ages event, and there were like some kids there. For you, were you anticipating there to be some like little kids there?
No,
not at all.
There's never kids at local metal shows. So yeah, that was weird. But it was cool. I think it's great to see the kids into it. It's just, we didn't expect it.
Now, Duskwalker does have 2 music videos out there into the world right now. The first one was Shadow Creeper, and I gotta say that was a great music video. And then your most recent one, The Crawling Tongue, which came out a couple weeks ago, which is great too. For you both personally, I'm curious to know, what music video did you find the more difficult to shoot?
Well, they both have their own stories. So for me, the Shadow Creeper video was kind of hard because we went down to the basement of 97.7. We set up all our stuff. We did all the band footage, right? All the footage. They took the footage, Rabbit Dog, Phil Pattison and Cam. They took Cannibal Cam. They took the footage and they were looking at it and they just kind of thought it was boring without some sort of story going through it. So then we had to cook up the story of, the Shadow Creeper, and then we got all that together. And then we did a reshoot a few months later, and we shot all that stuff and then edited it all together. So it was actually, that video probably took like 4 months to complete because we had to film in between, weekends or whatever. And then the Crawling Tongue one is a different story because we went and shot it in this old abandoned mill out on Stanley. And basically there was a lot of sun and then there would be overcast. So when we would look back on the footage, it just wasn't matching, right? And some of the footage was actually a little bit out of focus because we couldn't, see what the hell we were doing because it'd be so bright and then it would be overcast, right? So we pretty much had to do a reshoot and wait for a day that was all sun or all overcast. So then, that video again took 2 days worth of shooting, which is a lot for us.
For the Shadow Creeper video, for me, I feel like it wasn't that difficult, or or
Oh yeah, you were only there for one of the days.
yeah, and really, I feel hard taking credit for Shadow Creeper because I'm like, well, we just kind of showed up and played. Rabid Dog did.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and they did a great job. That video was fantastic, I think.
yeah. Cannibal Cam shot all the band stuff for the Shadow Creeper video. Then Phil shot all the storyline for the Shadow Creeper video, and then he edited all of it. And then the Crawling Tongue video, Cam did everything in that one.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you mentioned earlier, Shadow Creeper was shot at the White House on Rock. Now, even though Joey is an employee of that building, did it make it easier, or was it still pretty difficult to try and get permission to shoot inside the White House of Rock?
It was so weird. We were like, if only we could find a creepy basement or something to play in. And he was like, well, the station is pretty creepy in the basement, and the attic is creepy. Let me ask my boss. And then he asked, and then he got permission, and then all of a sudden we picked a date, and it was fine. And when we went, it was kind of late at night. No one was there. No security or nothing. So we just kind of got right to work and did what we want.
Yeah, having Joey there was real easy.
Yeah.
It's worked out for us. So
now, when it came time to casting the infamous Shadow Creeper, we all know Grivnir of Temple of Night ended up portraying the said character. Were there a lot of people that came to mind for the certain character, or did you always know it was going to be Grivnir for the Shadow Creeper role?
Yeah,
We just
think of it. Okay, well that's the guy. That's like there isn't anybody else. It's perfect.
And and even kind of before then, Electric Dead we were like, we need some hulking guy with contact lenses, that doesn't mind putting some makeup on and becoming a horror character. So it was pretty easy. We asked him, and right away he said yes. So again, we were lucky with that.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, as you mentioned at the beginning of this video, I don't think we got it on footage, but we might have. You are starting to record the next album, the next chapter of Duskwalker. Now, compared to your first two releases, what makes this album different, and what can fans expect from this next release?
Omega?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be the first album where all four of us right now in the band will have been writing together. And the whole, from beginning to end, we're all aware of what's going on. With All They Know Is Fear, a lot of the stuff was written before Joey joined. And he wrote a lot for the album, lyrically, but musically, a lot of it was already done. So this album will have input from all of us, and Joey will have riffs on it also. And, we're all writing together on this one.
Do you want to talk about what we're recording right now?
Yeah, we might as well. So for our next original album, we want to take it into our own hands. And, John Howard from Threat Signal at Woodward Studios, he recorded my drums for the first two albums. And and then he mixed the first album. And then the last album, we just took the drums and did the rest ourselves. So this time, we want to just do everything ourselves, right? We'll have a little more, control, and we're getting better at it anyways, so we might as well, right? And, but first, before we do that, we're gonna do a cover song album, just to kind of test our might, recording wise ourselves, right? So we're gonna do a cover album first and see how that sounds, and then if we're confident in that, then we'll just do everything ourselves the next album.
So that's what we're doing right now, recording Kale's Laying Down drums for a couple cover songs right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are they horror movie theme songs, or
one of
something
them
completely?
Yeah, one day.
Excellent.
There might be a Guar song too. So you will hear Joey Scaringi singing Guar.
Has he at least heard the Guar song you're covering?
Yeah, you might have to show him still. I don't know. No, he knows. He's doing good. Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, when it came to picking the songs for the cover song, without revealing any of the cover songs to me, except, well, telling me there is a Guar cover, how difficult was it to pick these certain songs that you wanted to cover for this album?
You go ahead.
So, the original idea was let's each just pick a song that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kale's was super quick. He pretty much immediately knew what he wanted. The rest of us, not so much. Matt had one picked actually fairly quickly, but then changed his mind, which is good because that would have been a lot more complicated than what he ended up with. So we had those songs, but then we were supposed to play with some friends for Halloween. So we're like, we want to play these just for the hell of it. This would be a perfect time to do that. But let's in a few more covers just to make a full set.
Yeah.
So those were more kind of Halloween, more geared towards Halloween.
Okay.
And they were sounding really good, so we kept some of those. So I think we have 7 songs.
Yeah, we have 7.
So it went from 4 to 7. And I don't know, we're pretty pumped. And they're sounding pretty tight.
Yeah, it's a weird variety, though.
Yes.
It's all metal, but
yeah.
I don't know if any of the songs really are what you would expect from us to be covering.
Is Monster Mash one of the songs? I gotta know.
They all are metal songs, but just not what you would think. Not
okay.
Sound like Duskwalker. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But we do have a long history of playing rock music, right? So
Okay.
Give you an idea.
I'm looking forward to hearing this album. I'm assuming hopefully it could be released near the end or middle of this year.
I'm hoping for the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot of material already for our original album. We're shelving it right now to work on this. And then once this is out of the way,
then we'll be full on into the next Duskwalker album.
Yeah.
So that next full original Duskwalker album, could we anticipate maybe more towards 2022?
I would say so. Yeah.
Probably after putting out All They Know Is Fear so that came out in November. We're like, this is a horrible time to be like a small band putting out an album because you don't really want to go tour Canada
during the winter
when you have an album come out in November. So yeah, even if it's ready at the end of this year, we'd probably push it a little bit. So
okay,
2022 is probably a good estimate.
Yeah.
Awesome. Could we estimate on Valentine's Day of 2022? Because for some reason, a lot of horror-related stuff comes out that day. I don't know why, but
we'll see. It's a good date, but I feel like it's not good to have an album release around the holidays because then people are spending their money on other things.
Yeah. Fair enough. But no, I do have to congratulate you all on winning a Niagara Falls Music Award for Metal Band of the Year, I do believe.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is your second time winning it?
Yeah. 2 years in a row.
Wow. Now, does it still come as a surprise to you to be winning these awards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're grateful. We don't just expect it to happen. And we work for it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all about putting out an album, putting out some videos, some good merch, playing lots of shows. You know what I mean? That's the only way you win an award is, you you got to do it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, for both of you personally, I think this is a fun question for you both. When it comes to horror movies, because it would be rude of me to not mention that there's a lot of horror themes with Duskwalker. For each of you personally, if you were to ever do a concept album based off of any horror movie franchise, what franchise would it be?
That's a great question.
I think for me, immediately, it would just be like Jason Voorhees, like Friday the 13th. That would be like mine.
Yeah. I would try to think of something that hasn't been done. There's so many horror, oriented metal albums, like Aborted is always about Hellraiser. You always get the Hellraiser clips, and my Dutch friends, they have an Evil Dead concept album and a Jason Voorhees concept album and a Leatherface one too, I'm pretty sure. But what would be something that would be different?
The Leprechaun.
Even like the song Ripping Terror. Yeah, the Leprechaun would be good. And then release that around St. Patrick's Day. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Maybe, well, the song Ripping Terror on All They Know Is Fear, that's about, we thought, well, what if The Thing, from the movie The Thing, didn't crash in the Antarctic where it froze right away? What if it crashed in some place like a jungle and it went into a cave and the first thing it latched onto was a bat? And then you get this crazy mutant bat flying around. That's what our, concept for Ripping Terror was. So maybe a full concept album about something like The Thing would be cool. Okay. Something where it actually takes over the world eventually. Yeah. You can't stop it.
That is awesome. And after hearing that description for the song, did that concept for the song kind of influence the cover that we have for All They Know Is Fear with the bat?
I'd say a little bit. Like, I think the idea for the cover really was kind of take concepts from the different songs, right? Put it in the artwork. Like,
I don't necessarily know if it had anything to do with the Thing aspect of latching onto a bat, but we did have like ideas for other bat things, and I think when we got the artwork, it wasn't even quite what we wanted. It had the bat, so we were still able to like tie everything in. Sometimes it can be like a backwards process when buying good art and conceptualizing your songs and just tying everything in with each other,
Of course. Now, how have people been about the artwork for the album?
Pretty good. I think everyone really liked it when we first put it out. And there's quite a few pieces of artwork in the booklet and stuff like that. And so we're basically buying a bunch of art from artists I found on Instagram. And
that's all the inside stuff was that kind of, oh, this is awesome and it fits the theme.
Yeah. Yeah. We find it's, way easier to get your stuff together if you can associate your topics around artwork that is pre-existing, because custom artwork is really expensive. So sometimes we try to find something we already like that could fit what we're trying to portray.
Of course. Now, for both of you, I know earlier I joked about a merch website and all that, but for both of you individually, what piece of merchandise do you think would down the line be the most unique and probably out of all the oddities that have been created would sell the most with the Duskwalker name on it?
What would be something cool? Maybe like a Duskwalker laser pointer. Might be fun.
Ooh, I don't know.
Or maybe like shoes,
Oh, custom Converse kind of thing.
Duskwalkers, you know?
Duskwalker. Yeah. Watch out, Air Jordans.
Yeah.
Duskwalkers.
Yeah. You could buy the Joey edition, you know?
That's it.
Yeah, I think
I
think the end game is shoes.
Honestly, the way shoes sell nowadays, I think that would probably be a really good selling product.
Yeah. I think with a name like Duskwalker, it pretty much sells itself. We'll send you a pair.
Awesome. Great. Now, I do have one last fun question to ask you. I asked this to Joey when he came on here back last year. Wow, it's already been a year. When he came on to talk about Duskwalker and his other ambitions and stuff. This is a fun question we like to ask all first-time guests. We call it the poser question, just to ensure we're not talking to, well, obviously posers. So the question is simple. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Oh, it's a trick question.
It is a trick question. Lemmy is God.
That is correct. Now, do you remember what movie that question is from?
Airheads.
Yes! 2 for 2. Way to go, gentlemen. Kale, John, thank you both so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules and recording to join me here on Thrashers Paradise to talk about Duskwalker and to pick your brains a bit about what's to come in the next couple of years. Is there anything else you would like to say to the fans that are watching this right now on YouTube?
I would just say thanks. Thanks for checking us out. Keep supporting underground metal. And yeah, just be on the lookout for our stuff in the future. Hopefully we can play shows again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Just like, thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening. It's awesome.
That's why we do it.
Excellent. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks.
Everything you ever was.